Are you always looking for the right player to buy only for them to perform badly in your team? In this video I will show you how you can stop making those mistakes by explaining how you can start playing Football Manager based on Excel and data. We will take a look at how you can decide which player is the best for each position and which signings you should make to upgrade your team. All of this is done by looking at the player data instead of a hunch or a random guess. I will start by showing you what data we are exactly going to look at. In this example, we will be taking a look at Bayern Munich's Harry Kane. Harry Kane has very good well-rounded stats, and as you can see, if we scroll through the roles, you see that for each other role you need different attributes. So let's go to the advanced forward role and see that we have green and blue attributes here. The attributes that are highlighted green are the most important attributes for that role. The ones that are blue are semi-important but not important enough to be green. And then the attributes that are gray are not important at all in that role. So for example, as an advanced forward, Harry Kane needs dribbling, finishing and first touch together with technique. He does need a little bit of passing, but he doesn't need penalty taking, no heading, no long shots, etc. So what does my Excel sheet actually do? We load in all the attributes for all the players that we have in the team, and then my Excel sheet calculates which player is the best in which role. It does that based on the green and the blue lines, and it doesn't calculate any of the gray lines. So what then happens is every player gets a rating from 1 to 20. So for example, Harry Kane will get a very good rating as an advanced forward, but as a defender he'll probably score very low because he doesn't have the stats that you need to play in that role. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Excel so I can show you what it looks like and how it all works. So this is what the Excel looks like, and to the left of us we have a lot of different roles. And let's just take the advanced forward role as a comparison. You see also here a legenda which says all the green stats have a 125%, blue stats 75% and gray stats 0%, which means that all the green stats which you need for a certain role are 125% calculated in the player's potential from 1 to 20. So if we were to go to that advanced forward position, you just saw with Kane that he had 4 green stats: technical, first touch, finishing and dribbling. Those are all 4 very important for the advanced forward role, and passing is semi-important, so it gets a 75. That is calculated for every role, so for every role I've looked at what is a green stat and what is a blue stat, and I've given it percentages based on those stats. This tab is one of the tabs that calculate how good a player is between 1 and 20. Each role has a different tab, and in that tab all the data that we are going to load in from Football Manager gets calculated, and every player gets a rating from 1 to 20 in each role. Let me show you how that works. So for me to explain how that actually works, let me show you the other tabs that are very important. Firstly, we have main squad data, where you put all of the data that you get from Football Manager in, and I will show you how you can get it out fairly quickly, and you paste it in here. It's a simple copy paste. Then we also have potential transfers, and you also paste all the data that you have from your scouted players in here. So what happens next is this whole tab of compare is filled with players, and you can start comparing your main squad with your potential transfers that you want to bring in. So you can quickly see which goalkeeper is better, how much is he better, and what is he gonna cost me. So now let's head back to Football Manager 24 so I can show you how you can get the squad data and the potential transfer data. Before we continue, if you want to download the Excel, the views or the tactic that I'm using, please check out my Discord channel. The link for it is in the description. If you have any questions about the Excel or any other questions, feel free to leave them there. So the next thing you want to do is you want to click on a line, press Ctrl A on your keyboard to select all the lines, and then press Ctrl P. This will make you print and per se download the information that's on your screen to a web page. So you click on web page, you click OK, and you click where you want to save it. So what I want to save it is I want to save it as Man United Squad, and then I will just save it, and it should be saved in your Football Manager folder. So the next thing we want to download is the scouted players. For this you go to scouting, you click on players, scouted players, and here you see the same thing as you'll always see. However, this time you are going to be using another view that I've made. So you're going to click on overview, custom, import, and you're gonna go to scouted players complete. You click that. Once again, you can download this view in my Discord channel. You click on load, and this is what it should look like. An important thing to note here is that this Excel only works for players who you've scouted 100%, so you have all of their stats. Of course, at the beginning of the game it's going to be low. For me it's only 57, but as you progress into the game it's going to be more and more. Also note the maximum players that you can load into the Excel in the potential transfers is 2000. You cannot go higher than that. So please note you can go up to 2000 players in one Excel. Once again, what you do here is you click on a line, Ctrl A, and the same thing happens with the squad. After you've pressed Ctrl A on your keyboard, you go Ctrl P and the same pop-up comes up. Once again, we would like to print it as a web page. Press OK and then save it however you like. For me, I am going to save it Manchester United transfers. So now both those files are somewhere in your Football Managers folder, and I will show you where you can find them. Basically what happens is that they get pasted into this folder. So you have them one right here, and let me show you how they look like when you open them. So this is what we have when you open them. So this is what you get, and you can go ahead and press Ctrl A and then Ctrl C and then just paste it into your Excel. Do the same for the potential transfers. Go ahead and click somewhere, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and you just paste them into the Excel. I've already pasted the potential transfers in. Now let's do the squad. You go to the field of A1, you go right click, paste, destination, formatting. So just paste the plain text, and that's all you need. So this is what you need, and then we'll go ahead and go to MS Data. You see all the data from your whole team. You go ahead and select it all, copy it, go to compare, and just paste it here once again as values. What we have here now is all the data from your team. So how good is every player in each position? First things first, go to column Q, put in yes from team or anything else that you want to mark them by, drag it down, and now you know for sure that all of these players are going to stay in your team. Next thing you do is you take a look at how good each player is in each position. So let's start with the goalkeeper because it's fairly easy most of the time. You go ahead and select role goalkeeper because Onana is the best one. Then Altaya Baidir is going to be your backup, and then Tom Heaton is going to be backup. So if you only want to play with two goalkeepers, you know you want to sell Tom Heaton. We've just checked out the goalkeeping. Let's also check out wingback, and something funny is going to happen because Luke Shaw is going to be your starting wingback, but as you can see, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, Anthony, Casemiro all are better wingbacks than Wan-Bissaka or Reguilon, and that is only because they have skills that fit the wingback role, but they aren't actually playing there. So what I'll be doing now is I'll be filling in the whole team and showing you what it looks like once you've filled in everybody based on data. So what I've done now is I've filled the whole team, and as you can see there's still some blank players with no role. So for example we have Scott McTominay here, which didn't really have one of the best 2 or 3 players in the team in a certain role. So for a ball playing defender, he's the best at, but he's only a 14.6. There's 4 players who are better than him, which means that you could actually choose, do I want to sell him? But maybe in this case, because McTominay is permanent and Amrabat is only on a loan, you want to keep McTominay for a backup in the next season. Then the same goes here for Brendan Rodgers and Dalot. As you can see, Dalot is a very good wingback, but is he enough? If we go ahead and sort from smallest, you see that he's nowhere near good enough, so he's probably on the list to be sold. The next thing we should do is we should go ahead and get the potential transfer guys in. So for that we go to PD data, and here you will have all the data from the potential transfers that we scouted. So you go ahead and select them, then Ctrl C to copy all of them, go to your compare tab and go ahead and paste them here as values, like so. You've now pasted in all of your data. So what you do now is you go ahead and go to these rows that you're not using, you delete them, and now everything is next to each other. Next thing you do is you go to the advanced forwards, you click on sort from largest to smallest, and you'll see that Alexander Isak is actually better than any of the players that you currently have in your squad. You can do the same for sweeper keepers by sorting on largest to smallest. You see that everybody is worse than Anana except for Justin Bilo, and he's almost the same and just 2 years younger, so you might want to buy him. Also, you can do the same for the ball winning positions, the Segundo Volantes, any of the roles mentioned above. If you do not want to include a role in this, just go ahead and click on the column, go to hide, and just hide the column so you don't see it again. Once you need it again, you go ahead and go on the right click and you click on unhide, and it unhides the column for you again. So this is a way for you to compare players and to see if a player is actually better and will improve your team. What you can do now is you can, for example, go to the ball playing defenders. You see Christian Romero is actually a lot better than anyone you have right now. So what you want to do is you just want to get him in as soon as possible. In column C, you see what the transfer values are of the players that you've scouted, and you can also see if it's worth selling a player that you currently have over buying a player that has like more or less value. Then once you want to switch back to your own team only, you go ahead and you click on team and you just go ahead and sort from A to Z, and it will just sort it back to only your team. One thing that I wanted to show you is that when we select on wingbacks right here and we make sure that we put the filter on for our team only, you see that right here Diego Dalot, who we just saw, isn't one of our starting wingbacks according to data. Right here you see, if I can find him, right here he's on our sell list. But take a look what Football Manager says, it's our best starting 11. Before we go to the last part of this video, I want to ask you if you want to leave a like if you enjoy this type of content, and also subscribe to see more of it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it and what you want to see next. And let's get on to the last part of this video. So Football Manager says that right here, if I go ahead and pick without restrictions, pick best 11, that Dalot is actually our best right back. And we've just seen that that's actually not the case at all. So this is why it's good to make all of your decisions, who you're playing in which positions, based on data. In this example I am using this tactic. You can find this tactic in my Discord channel and use the same one as I'm using right now. However, I can also add roles for you, which makes it easier for you to play any tactic that you want. Just let me know which roles you want me to add and I can take a look for you if it's possible for me to add them. A couple of last things that I wanted to tell you is that you gotta make sure that every single player you scout is fully scouted. Players that are not fully scouted might have a stat here and there which isn't like an absolute number, which is like 13 or 16 or between 14 and 18. No, it needs to be an absolute number. Otherwise, the rating system doesn't work. The rating system is meant to be between 1 and 20. If it's anywhere higher than that, it's not correct, and you should just take a look at the player in Football Manager and make sure that you fully scouted him. Another tip before I end the video is do not change anything from your scouting. Just make sure that you scout every single player that you come across 100%, but set up the scouting as you like and as you want to play. If you want to scout Africa, scout Africa. If you want to scout Russia, just scout Russia. Just do whatever you want to, but make sure that you fully scout every single player before you put them into your list. I would also recommend you to, if you're looking for players to bring in, go ahead and only select the players that you have an A, B or C in recommendations. Anything in D and E isn't going to work and isn't going to be any good for your team. One last thing, the Excel is made for up to 2000 players. Do not add more than 2000 players in the Excel. It's not going to work, it's not going to pick up those players. So make sure that you only put maximum of 2000 players. I would recommend you listen to your scouts, click on scout recommendation, it will sort it for you, and make sure that you only select the recommendations that are A, B or C. Right here you can select the grades, so you just go ahead and select at least grade C, and then you should have all. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed, I hope you've liked, I hope everything is clear. If not, ask me questions in my Discord or in my video comment section and I will answer them gladly. I'm also playing 2 series based on data, so go ahead and check those out. The first episode of those series are also in the description below. Hope everything was clear. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed watching and take care.